Hi, this is Mrs. Clark. Welcome to my video on finding the slope between 2 points. So we're just going to refresh the slope formula. So our formula for finding slope based on 2 points is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we use that formula anytime we have 2 points that we are given and we need to find the slope or the rate of change between them. So we're going to do 2 examples together in our notebooks. And the first example that we're going to do is -3, 11, and 0, 9. And so we want to find the slope between these 2 points. Don't have a graph, I'm going to have to use the formula. So in order to do that, I need to think about, since I have x1, x2, y2, x2 in here, I need to think about labeling these as x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, so that I can put them in my formula. So to find the slope, this equals m, which is our slope. So to find the slope of these two, I'm going to do y2, which is 9, minus y1, which is 11. And then in the denominator, I'm going to do x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is -3. So notice I have minus -3. Subtraction comes from the equation right here, and then this -3 comes from the fact that x1 is a -3. So there really are 2 negatives in a row. But we can remember that when I do 2 negatives in a row, it's like I'm undoing the subtraction. So it's really 0 plus 3. 0 minus -3 turns into a 0 plus 3. 9 minus 11 is still 9 minus 11, which is a -2. So I have -2 in the numerator, and in the denominator I have 3. Okay, so the answer for the slope for these 2 points would be -2/3. Okay, so a second example would be -18, 5 and 18, -13. Okay, so to find the slope between these two, let's use that formula again. Again, I'm going to label them x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so starting with my formula, I'm going to got the y2 first, so -13 minus 5. And in the denominator, I'm going to get positive 18 minus -18. So again, I have that minus negative happening in the denominator, so that really means I'm going to be doing 18 plus 18, which we know is 36. And then in the numerator, I've got -13 minus 5, so I'm going more negative. I'm going to have -18 in the numerator. And I have to think about this when I go ahead and look at it. I can see these are pretty big numbers, so I know that I can reduce them. I know that a bunch of different numbers go into 18 and 36. So I can divide by 9 on the top and bottom to reduce this. And I will get -2 over 4, which looks much simpler, but I can still go even further and divide by 2, top and bottom, and I would get -1 over 2. So our slope for this one would be -1/2. Now both of these examples worked out to be negative. That's not always going to happen. Sometimes I'm going to have a positive number. So let's do an example that looks like that. So let's do 8, 7, and -2, -5. So again, labeling them x1, y1, x2, y2. I do that to keep myself organized and following my formula correctly. So following the formula, I'm going to do -5 minus 7, And in the denominator, x2, which is negative 2, minus 8. So in the numerator, negative 5 minus 7 is going to be negative 12. Negative 2 minus 8 is going to be negative 10. So both of these numbers are even. I can divide them both by 2. So I will get negative 6 over negative 5. But I also have to remember here that when I have a negative divided by a negative, it makes a positive. So this is really positive 6 over 5. So a lot of times you will have negatives all over the place when you're working on these, calculating the slope, but you just have to be careful to make sure you're placing them in the correct places and watching to make sure you carry your negatives. So really use your calculator to help you here if you struggle with adding and subtracting negative numbers sometimes. If you're not very consistently getting them correct, then definitely use a calculator to help you with that. And then always remember at the end to reduce your answer down. Okay, so thank you for watching. Make sure you take those notes in your notebook, and let me know whatever questions you have. Thanks.